I'm making this video because I have made this mistake over and over and over in sex, and I see it every single day in the students that I work with. Making this mistake specifically led me to having no desire for sex, feeling resentful of my partner, feeling like I was a failure as a partner, having low self-esteem, and ending relationships, which I do not want for you. My name is Hannah, also known as the Libido Fairy, and in the last 5 years, I've helped hundreds of women improve their sex lives and feel desire in their relationships. And often it's just shifting this one thing that really creates a massive forward jump in their progress. It's one of the major things that we teach students how to do inside of my signature program, the Intimacy Accelerator, and I want to teach it to you today. So let's talk about it. The biggest mistake that women make during sex is following their urge to caretake. I'm going to break that down. I'll give an example from my life to start. So I'm the oldest child, and when I was 12 years old, my dad had his first manic episode and was sent to the hospital where he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. When he came home from the hospital, some things transpired inside of my family dynamic, and I ended up in the role of being his caretaker. I was constantly on alert for how his mood changed, what he needed to stay stable, if he'd taken his medication, and I was rewarded for this behavior by focusing on him and not on my own needs. I stayed safe by doing that. Fast forward to my romantic relationships and my sex life, and the same pattern played out over and over. I was overly concerned about my partner's experience and their pleasure and their needs. I was performing and trying to be the best lover they ever had to win their affection and their attention. I never had sex for me. It was always for them, which eventually led to deep feelings of resentment, no desire, and feeling like sex was a chore. Now, my scenario was obviously a pretty extreme example, but almost every single woman that I know is socialized in the same way. Women grow up learning that our role is to caretake, to think about others, to please others, to support the people around us, to worry about their opinions and their feelings and their needs above our own. We're praised for self-sacrificing and shrinking to fit the standards and norms of what everyone else wants. And it's the same way with sex. Every Cosmo magazine article I read as a young girl was all about how to blow his mind or learning a new sex trick that kept my partner wanting me. We receive messages all about how men only want one thing and it's our duty to give that to them. And sex becomes this box to check on the list of how to be a good woman and a good partner. So it's not our fault that we end up focusing on this and making this mistake. But I will say this again, for a woman to truly enjoy sex with her partner, she needs to learn to do the opposite of what she's been trained by society to do when it comes to the bedroom. Your social role might be to think of others, but your sexual role needs to be self-centered. The biggest shift that I help women make that dramatically improves their sex life is to start being more selfish in the bedroom. What I mean by that is letting go of worrying about what your body looks like, or if your partner is enjoying themselves, or worrying about hurting their feelings or their ego, focused on them having an orgasm, performing and pleasing and putting on this show for your partner. You have to stop doing that if you want to actually want sex. Something that I heard relationship researcher Esther Perel say once is that female sexuality is narcissistic. It has to love itself. She said that if you don't want to make love to yourself, you will not connect to the person who wants to make love to you. You won't believe it. You'll perform to keep them coming back, but you won't have the kind of fulfilling experience that you could have. So what does it look like to be selfish in the bedroom? It's honestly pretty simple. It's all about focusing on your pleasure. That means asking for what you want and then really enjoying it, like soaking it all in, receiving and experiencing the pleasure that's happening in the moment, and really letting yourself open and relax into that. An experience that you can try with your partner is setting a timer for 5 minutes and just letting your partner explore your hands and your arms, giving you different types of touch and pressure in your hands, and directing and guiding them on what feels good, focusing entirely on receiving that touch and asking them to do more of what feels good. Now, if you're really struggling to imagine what you could want or ask for when it comes to sex, I have a free quiz in the description box below that you can take, and it will tell you what your turn-on type is and give you a starting point list of all the things that you could probably want and start doing more of when it comes to sex. I also made a video with tips on how to have more satisfying sex, and you can check it out right here. Remember, you deserve to have sex that you look forward to. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.